All right, all right, all right. Great Gratitude Thursday, WEHA listeners. This is your girl, Lisa Thomasell, and we're here with Julie Farmer. Yes, we are back. We are back. We are back. As we are each week, each Thursday, 5 o'clock. Schedule us in. Tell your friends. Tell everybody. This is a great time to be alive, and I just want to bring some hope and joy and share some love and just embrace this global thing that's happening, this global pandemic that's happening with everybody. I just think it's phenomenal that it's happening for everybody, not just a certain section of people, or not just for a certain class of people, not just for a certain race of people. It's happening for us all. And so I'm just an optimist. Maybe you can tell by my voice, maybe you can tell by my excitement. And I'm excited today because I'm alive.
Amen.
I got an opportunity to get invited into this day. So when I wake up in the morning and I rise and I'm like, wow, here I am invited into this day. There's some people that we know that just didn't get invited into this particular day. Doesn't mean that it was anything wrong with them, and it was just their time to make another transition. So we get an opportunity today to have this transition on this level, on this earth plane, and experience life. And then we also get the opportunity to choose.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm truly grateful, and I just want to share the gratitude, and I want to share the love because I'm truly, truly grateful for this great opportunity right now that we're experiencing. And I know everybody has their own version, and I know, it's I'm not here to take it lightly, and I'm not here to take it so heavily that it bears suffering upon not only just myself but others. So today I'm just here. Listen, if the sound waves can get to somebody's ears, that can show them that you are loved, and you can choose how you want to experience this thing. This too shall pass. I promise you, this too shall pass. Just like any other endeavor that we've encountered throughout life, this too shall pass. But I want to offer you the opportunity to understand that you can choose how you gonna walk through this thing. So I'm going to turn it over right now to Julie Farmer, who's going to tell us, like, why we here.
Hi, everybody. Again, it's me, Julie Farmer. I am the coordinator on the Atlantic City Municipal Alliance, and we are sponsored by Jakarta. What
Oh.
Lisa didn't tell you is she's the chairman of the board for the Atlantic City
Woo.
Municipal Alliance, and she's also a licensed drug and alcohol counselor. And I kind of want to, allow her to reintroduce because I know we probably have some new people listening, trying to figure out, well, what are they doing on the radio? Well, what happened was Jakarta, the Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse, decided to go throughout all of Atlantic County, and each municipality, Atlantic City being one of them, were giving grant money to be able to provide funding for some of our programs. We have youth programs, we have programs that are done out of the school systems for all grades, and we have some of our adult programs. We are here on the radio to kind of get our information out worldwide because not only are we on the radio, but we're also on Facebook. But we want to give some people some hope,
That's
some
right.
support, some
That's right.
information.
That's
I
right.
had a beautiful conversation with Lisa, but we talk
Absolutely.
every day, a
That's
couple
right.
times a day,
Absolutely.
and I'm excited about what she's going to bring to you. I told her I'm going to be bouncing in because I
That's
love
right.
the subject matter.
That's
But I'm
right.
going to give it right back to Lisa.
And for those who are seeing us live, you may see me bouncing up and down, because like I just can't stand still no more. I can't just keep sitting still and being like, oh, I'm just going to share this thing with the listening audience and stuff, and I'm gonna sit back, relax, and just chill out. Listen, I'm so excited that sitting down is really not an option,
Mm-hmm.
so because I stand for something today, and I'm standing, physiologically, psychologically, everything. Like when there's motion in your body, right? When you're moving, when you can sit still. If you, I mean, let me just go back just a little bit. If you check out the characteristics of somebody that's depressed, you know, um, globally, like depression looks pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
They're slouched over, sad. Like, how can a depressed person be depressed and happy at the same
Same
time?
time.
So, like, even physiologically, if when you change your state physically, when you change your state and you start to like, put your shoulders back and you stand up and you get that body moving and you get that circulation going, you're going to change the trajectory of your thinking. You can't hold on to the baggage while you're like when you change in your state. So I'm so grateful today, right? It's so amazing. Like, and I don't, Julie didn't even really know about this, but I was just inspired as I was getting ready to walk out my house today, and I'm like, I knew what I was going to talk about today. I already knew. I had talked to Julie, and I'm gonna tell you something. I'm never a planner. I'm never one who plans anything. And anytime, and even in school, when I was in school, I wasn't that one who did this project 2 and 3 weeks before. You know, I could do it, and then at the last hour, I'd be like, "Listen, we need to change this whole thing around." And that's what basically happens. Sometimes I come in here totally like with a subject matter in mind and information and stuff, but then like I just allow God to lead me as He knows what His listeners need. So when you're speaking from the heart touches the heart. So I know how authentic the information is because I know it touches people's hearts and the responses that we get. And even the responses that we don't get. Sometimes we don't get any responses from people, but then when you see them on the street or you see them somewhere, just their response lets us know that they're listening. So when Juliet just talked about like the introduction of myself and like what brought me to this place. And I'm going to tell you just a little briefly. I'm going to share some information that I brought with me. So this is perfect. And I think it's going to sum it all up in a nutshell because it made me think about stories.
Okay.
Why we tell our stories. What's the significance in sharing our stories with others, and that goes right along with living with purpose. Sometimes you don't know why you're going through the trials and tribulations that we consider, life to be. And sometimes I even find it amazing that sometimes when people go through a trial or are experiencing a trial in the present time, people are amazed when they share it and say, they're like, "Oh, you're so vulnerable. It's wild." It's like we act like sometimes we're not, we don't go through stuff. It takes for you, and many times people will say, "Well, if I knew what I knew then, I wouldn't have done it. I would have done it different." But the reality of it is because of what you've been through that you even have the opportunity to make a different choice. So everything is so necessary. So I just want to share this bit of information with you, right? And this is just going to give you a little view of who am I
Okay.
and why I have selected to do the things that I do today. Okay. So just to give you just a little brief history, just the other day I was asked to write an insert somewhere and taking a look at my life and how a situation may have been I might have deemed as painful at one point is now a gift, right? So here we go. So it starts off with Monday's meditation was phenomenal. This meditation allowed me to go into a dimension of my past self to observe the gifts that they were offering me. I say offering me because I didn't see them as gifts. I didn't see the loneliness and helplessness as a gift, but as an indicator or reinforcement of my unworthiness. Now, I didn't see the gift in the sexual, physical, or mental abuse as a gift because of the loneliness and isolation it brought forth. Now, I saw the little girl stewing in her feelings of aloneness. I could see the countless thoughts that emerged in her, through her, as her. The pain was intense. The experience of worthiness was real. How can this be a gift? How can I look at others, expecting them and wanting them to rescue me from this emotional imprisonment that I was experiencing that didn't seem to have a way out? How can this be a freaking gift? As I reconnect with the moment of meditation that took me on this journey of rediscovery, hmm, rediscovery, reconnection. I see it through the lens of a wiser soul. The gift is continually being unveiled to me. It has been through those quiet times, those days of wondering, that I sought a higher purpose. It has been in those deprived days that I asked and sought the answer to what is my purpose? Father, God, universe, mother, Jesus, Buddha, Allah. Why? Why not? Was it not in those times that you have sought comfort, that you have been comforted? Was it not in those times that you have sought love from outside yourself, that you embraced your true love within you? Have these dark times not guided you to seek the light that has always remained within you? I have never left you, and yet it has been through these times that you have gained faith, love, and the gift of life. Amen. Somebody really want to call me now? Okay, so I just want to thank you. Like, I just want to first of all give thanks to God for the gift of expression. Because it was through those words and through that specific message that I posted on Facebook, that ignited something in my soul to just begin to write and just to begin to unleash, because being able to see the gifts and the pain. So often, like, people are right now at a time, like, we're globally, everybody is like, oh my goodness, what is this all about? What does this all mean? And everything. Like, you're going to experience this as you think it is. So whatever that is, like, and it reminded me of each time that I've encountered some challenges, whether it is through drug addiction, thinking that I can escape through drugs, thinking that, to relieve my pain, then let me use a substance that gave me this sense of euphoria that would relieve the pain, but ultimately increase it. So first it was all an illusion. It all became an illusion of, yeah, I was escaping my reality, but then my reality was beginning to suffocate me. So then there came a time where many times, many decisions had to be made. But not only the decisions, because I've made many decisions, and I know that and I know a lot of people can relate to making decisions. How many times have we said, yes, this is going to be, I'm going to do this differently, or yes, I'm decided I'm sick of this, or yes, I'm going to leave this relationship because this no longer suits me. And like, we pray and we ask God and we say, listen, God, please why is this happening for me? Why is this happening to me? Can you please just release me from these chains that continue to bind me? Many, many, many times those questions may come up. But I took a really long look at my own life, and I realized it was in the decisions, whether they was good or bad, that I did take action each time. So whether it was, to do the drug or not, I took action. So the moment I decided that the drug was going to be my comforter, and the moment I decided that the drug was going to be the filler that I thought was going to fill my soul, I took action. Just like the moment I realized and I was awakened to the fact that this drug was not fulfilling me as it once may have thought me to believe. No coughing in here. So I just want to, like, so once the illusion was lifted, and once I was out of that place, and I was starting to seek, feeling like I was in the pit of hell, and thinking like, God, I need some please rescue me, help me. Like, there was always these angels that came in forms of different people, whether it was through counselor, whether it was through another person, whether it was through a friend, whether it was through just a stranger walking by giving me a smile when I was feeling lonely. Whether it was through my children who just was children and just shared a little light that just turned on just a little beam of light that inside of me to remind me of the greatness that still lies within myself. So I took action, and I decided that, like, I knew that there was something greater than who I was portraying myself to be. I knew that there was something far greater that God had a purpose for me. So I stand here today standing in my purpose, deciding, even in deciding to come to the radio station. You sit home for a while and you start feeling like, oh, I could just sit here and mind my business. But then saying like somebody might need to hear a message today. Somebody might need to just get a little hope, a little shot of hope. We're all in this together, but understand you do not have to be alone. If this message keeps ringing up and keeps coming up, keeps ringing true, you don't have to be alone. Even if you may feel like you're lonely, even if you may feel like, I don't know, I'm sitting in this house by myself. Listen, you're sitting in this house with yourself.
Amen.
How about globally? Like maybe it's this time that we have to look at our lives and look at the hustle and bustle of our lives, and always striving to be this or do that, when maybe I need to strive to just be with me.
That's a good place to be.
That's a phenomenal place to be. But I'm gonna also not give you this illusion that it's not uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
because it might start off very uncomfortable. I didn't get to a place of like, yeah, I'm just loving on me.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's like it's been some uncomfortable times, but it's been some, like, I've been learning some lessons, whether it's through watching the program. Lessons is just coming up all the time. I was watching this show the other, yeah, as a matter of fact, today I was watching this show, and this girl said to her brother, he has these scars, and this is his first time going to school, and she said to him, she said, "Don't worry about people staring at you."
Mm-hmm.
Right? She said, "Don't worry about people staring at you, because you were not meant to be average. You were meant to be phenomenal." So sometimes, like when you step into your greatness, and when you decide, I no longer have to stew in this thing right here, that I can then step into who I truly am. I know all the things that have gotten me to a place where I felt continuously lonely and helpless and worthless. But I'm here to just give you this, just a little, just a little vibration of love, and just to let you know that we are worthy.
Mm-hmm.
You are worthy. I'm worthy. We're all worthy.
We are all worthy.
That's right. I see Julie got something she wants to say. Go on, Julie.
Well, for me, I I'm learning so much in this process and in this quietness. But I like to be to myself anyway. That I enjoy kind of hearing my thoughts and talking to myself in my brain and working some things through. But I had a great accomplishment this week, um, and I have to thank. Sometimes when you're reaching out for someone and they don't respond and you call, so I have to give a shout out to Eric Pancho. I have been reaching out to him. I'm on Facebook like, Eric, I need help. I need help. I'm having trouble in the church and with the computer. One of the things he told me when he was there, and Pancho is an IT guy. He's an incredible man, and he's taught me so much. But in him teaching me, most times I didn't pay attention. But I guess I must have paid enough attention. And Comcast came in and bought in a new router, a new box, to strengthen our bandwidth at the church. I work at Second Baptist Church. And so they came in, and Pancho told me every time they come in, it's going to be something that's going to go wrong with the printer, with the copier. He said something about IP address and configurations and ports, and in that, I remembered a lot of it. So for the whole week, I wasn't able to print from my copier, and I was a little upset by that. Now, however, if this was any other week, if we were in our regular normal times, I would have to print out a lot of programs and different things like that. But because it's a quiet time, I didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
But today, I was able to figure out how to get that copier working. I was able to print to it because I do remember him saying, going into the Comcast router and going into the network and going into the ports and configuring and typing in the IP address and going into the copier and finding. And I was able to do all of those things. So I have to say thank you, Pancho, for not calling.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for not responding, because had you done that, I would not have learned on my own. So I do appreciate you for that.
And I
You know.
and Julie, I appreciate you saying that because it just reminded me of how so often we make judgments about what something means. You know, whether you reach out to someone and you're calling them and they don't answer and you start thinking, oh, they're ignoring me, and we come up with a story
Mhm.
about what that means. Now they could be in the bathroom, they could be having a crisis going on, but no, because of our ego self, we start thinking about the me and how does this reflect on me?
Mhm.
One of the greatest gifts I was offered early on in getting clean was, I was have been part of a 12-step program for many countless years, and they used to say, call when if you feel like using, just call. And there was times that I would call, and many times I had been in meetings and people would say, I've called people and they don't answer, and
Mhm.
y'all just full of stuff and this, that, and the other, right? But I had got a different word.
Mhm.
I had got a different word, and the word was like I would call people, and even down to this day, I can call people and call people and call people because you have a situation and you're looking for somebody to come up with a solution.
Mhm.
And so what I learned that is I would call people, I would go down the list and keep calling people, and my mind would start going off into, my ego would start telling me, see, they're not there for you,
Mhm.
nobody's there for you. And then one time I heard this soft whisper that said, just be still
Mhm.
and know that I'm God. And I was like, well, okay, you got my attention. Like just being still, and like answers always showed up.
Mhm.
So like even now, even though like with everything going on, I choose to smile. I choose to greet a person with a smile. I choose to greet a person. Listen, we might have a 6 feet social distance thing going on,
Mhm.
but you can share a smile from 6 feet away.
That's right.
You can share a hello from 6 feet away. Your heart, the love in your heart can be felt six
6
feet
feet
away.
away. Mhm. When you said something about, calling people, I remember Lisa and I used to work at John Brooks Recovery Center.
There you go, say.
She was my supervisor in the PIP department,
Absolutely.
and I was the administrative assistant. And when it was time for me to change my season, I had found another job. Now, me and Lisa became really, really good friends at that time.
Absolutely.
Really good friends where, I had her back, she had my back. We would go out, and I remember when I was offered the position at Second Baptist, I was like, wow, how am I going to tell Lisa that I have a new job, that I'm leaving? And I remember her coming up to my desk and saying, let's go to the movies. I'm like, this is the time, because I could not go into her
Set up.
office.
Set up.
No, I couldn't go into my friend's office and say, listen, I'm going to give you my 2-week notice. I knew I had to talk to her first as a friend. So we went to the movies, and we sat through the whole movie, and I think we went to get some. No, we went to get something to eat first.
Yeah, we ate.
We went to Applebee's, and we got
My
something
stomach
to
was
eat.
full. My stomach was full. I can
And then
receive.
we got to the movies, and I'm still sitting there saying, how am I going to tell her? And I remember before I got in the car, we got to the car, and I said, Lisa, I'm leaving John Brooks. She's like, what? What are you talking about? I said, I'm leaving John Brooks Recovery Center.
Hmm.
But I do remember, I would go and see her every once in a while. And I remember being different, going into the office and being different. I'm like, she's bigger than this. She needs to be somewhere else. And then there was this quiet time between us where we weren't talking. But I was changing, I
Wow.
was shifting, and she was changing.
Hmm.
And we weren't communicating.
Yes, absolutely.
But I knew in my heart that there was a connection.
Yeah.
But I also knew that I needed my time, and I knew she needed hers.
Right.
And I remember seeing on Facebook, I think you said you needed a ride somewhere.
Yep.
And I was going to call you that next day and say, Lisa, come get the keys to the car. Just come get my car, take it wherever. But that particular day, someone ran into my car
Hmm.
and pretty much totaled it. So it wasn't the time yet. But in the meantime, something happened and we got back together. At least we'll come to the church,
Mm-hmm.
and our connection, and now it's even stronger than that ever. But it wasn't to end a friendship and a relationship. It was just to see how strong the relationship was
Right.
and see how real it was.
Yeah.
And now you can't separate us.
And that's the beauty of it. Like sometimes what you think is, we come up with these interpretations all on our own. We think that, we come with whatever it is that we believe about something, but God is making renewing things or refreshing things,
Absolutely.
or separating individuals so that separately there's some growth that needs to happen so that they can collectively come together and and blossom. But so often, and I really want to talk about, and it was talking about a topic for this day was about your pain being your gift, but also how you overcome adversities. This is a time. I mean, listen, this is a time that you get to spend with you. The work that's necessary is for you. That's just the reality, and like we can try to hide from things. If there's going to be, we're going to come out of this, and there's going to be some divorces going to happen.
Mm.
There's going to be some marriages that's going to happen. There's going to be some family
Some career
dynamics.
changes
Yeah,
too.
some, oh my goodness, some career changes. Like I'm in the process of writing my best-selling book. Yeah, like it's going to be a total bestseller because like I'm finding this part of me, like, and what's so phenomenal. So often I've questioned my abilities. I've questioned, can I do this, or do I need more schooling, or do I need this, that, and the other. And then when I start putting paper to pen, I just put that, just decide I'm gonna sit down and just start writing. Words flow.
Hmm.
Nothing I thought about, nothing I've sat down and contemplated. It just flows when I just allow that part of me. Listen. There's author, there's author Lisa Thomas
Hmm. Hmm.
waiting to emerge. And she's just like, and I'm just allowing her to emerge. When I just sit back and say, you know what, I know God's got this. There's something that my life, like, I know my life has not been in vain. When I'm sharing little bits and parts of what I've already written and getting responses from people like, wow, that's really deep. Or wow, that's really, that they could really relate. Like, it just is reminding me, like, there's no time to wait.
Hmm.
This is the time. This is your time. Like, somebody needs to hear from you. Somebody needs a word. And so our angels are showing up as other people. Your angels is showing up as your children.
Hmm.
The ones that you want to fix, manage, and control. The ones that you want to alter their life when you don't have your life together.
Mm.
That one. So like, in watching the challenges or the experiences, like I'm starting to change the words around. Like, not, it's not mistakes, it's not, oh my goodness, like you just made, like, we're all having experiences. Sometimes people, I was talking to someone, they was like, oh, I'm not gonna let nobody um use my past against me. Like, we all, like, have a past. Like,
Hmm.
everybody got something. Every
Absolutely.
If you breathing,
You got to
you got to
pass.
pass. like, like I'm serious. Like, anybody. Like, there's some things that you would probably say, I don't want nobody to know about that ever. But yet we'll look at somebody and we'll start to say, oh, look at them. They was homeless. And remember when they was out there doing this thing, and they was messing around with all these other people and stuff. Yeah, because you don't know their hearts.
Hmm.
You don't know in the midst of all of that they're not. That's how they might not be feeling very worthy. You don't know what somebody else is going through. So, like, this is like, our angels can show up as that person that you're looking at, judging, saying, no, look at them.
Hmm.
But they may just be a reflection of that part of you that you don't want exposed. And you're like, look at them.
Hmm. I love it. I do. I want to say something
Go,
because
say something.
because I was telling you yesterday, and I told a few people I love Facebook memory. When those little memories pop up,
Mhm.
and on April the 8th, 2016. at 7:01 p.m. because I had this conversation. I said,
Facebook Live,
"You going,
Facebook memories.
you have to put the details in." I wrote this. This was actually my last day at John Brooks Recovery Center,
Mm.
April 8th, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I've always heard people talk about closing one chapter of their life and moving on to the next. Well, today, God allowed me to type the end to a novel of my life that took me on a journey full of ups and downs, joy and pain, and courage and fear. For too long, I put up a fight and wanted to do things my way, thinking that I was in control and I could fix my broken stuff on my own. But everything that I went through and everything that I did, whether it was right or wrong, God had purposely planned for my life to give me a testimony of how truly powerful God is. His love, grace, and mercy has made me a new woman, and with my faith, He is always in control and always with me. I can start writing a new novel reflecting who I was created to be. Now, mine, I'm not writing a book. I promise you.
Because that sound like one.
No. The chapter of my life is so interesting. I thought in my past that was the normal life. You know, it wasn't always great, and I'd done some things that I'm not proud of. But it was all for a reason.
Yeah.
It was all to bring me here. You know, I walk through Second Baptist Church right now. Most times I'm the only one in the building.
Mm.
And, you know, even before now, I was pretty much there, you know, taking care of, you know, different things. But as I walk through, it's where I belong.
Mm.
You know, I run into people who have done what I've done. So your story has to be told, but it has to be told at the right time. Your story, Lisa, needs to be told worldwide. You have some really serious and deep stuff in you. My story is an individual thing. Like, I may sit with someone who needs to hear what I've been through, who needs to hear that I've been homeless, who needs to hear that I had a gambling addiction, who needs to hear my story. And I know I'm going worldwide.
I was going to say, this ain't individually.
I know, and it's okay because there's more to it.
Absolutely.
Than that. But, you know, for you, your life is huge. I listen to it, I'm like, wow. We need to be taping this, you know. That's why I'm so glad we're doing it now.
Yeah.
For me, it's a one-on-one thing. And it could be in a little intimate setting with some other folks, but it's the right time, and it's the right place, and it's the right people.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, this thing is awesome. Like, so you know, when you talked about the gifts of pain, you're talking about overcoming adversities. You know, you first just have to take a realistic look at your life and where you are right now, and then start to envision where it is. You know, when you get through to the other side, what is that going to look like? How about taking a moment just to imagine what life can look like? Like, you have God on your side, right?
Amen.
And
Yes.
like, you are the greatest creator of them all on your side, right? And like, so you can determine how this thing is going to look once you come out of here. You know, are you going to sit home and start dooming and glooming and start talking about, oh my goodness, I might lose my job and this is going to happen and what's going to happen after this? Like, or am I going to say, listen, okay, so I guess it's time to start imagining.
Yeah, I might have to create a job.
Yes, I'm going to have
You
to
know.
create opportunities. You know, for those people who have been in prison, I've always used to tell them, like, listen, they're like, oh, I'm never going to be able to get a job. Okay, well, maybe you're going to have to be a creator of your own brand. You're going to have to brand yourself. Listen, how are you going to rebrand you? You're going to rebrand you. You're going to, that's the shirt. You might start being a t-shirt maker.
That's right.
You know, like,
that's right.
how am I going to this is the perfect time to start rebranding you. You know, how have the challenges, the experiences, I'm just going to say experiences, how is it that the experiences that I've had, how can I utilize them to create a brand that's going to help many nations globally? Yeah, it's not.
You know, we are on an equal playing field right now.
Woo,
to
let's
be perfectly
play.
honest,
Let's
because
play.
guess what? Who's your biggest mentor? You go to see him like quite often. Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins. He's one of my biggest mentors.
Yes. Right now, he's sitting in the corner because he can't draw those crowds
Oh,
right now.
he ain't in no corner.
I mean, no. When I'm saying
Yeah,
sitting in
yeah.
the corner, he's sitting. He's rebranding.
Right, right.
You know, he's when he comes, when we all come out of this with the churches, we gonna come out in revival with these mentors and what do you call them?
Coaches.
These coaches, they're gonna come out with this huge thing because we're all gonna need it.
Yeah.
We're all gonna need. I'm looking forward to the revival because I'm in revival in my head right now.
Listen, that's
I'm looking
right.
forward because right now I understand. I used to go to revival and I thought it was a lot of singing and
Oh
some
yeah,
preaching.
yes,
But
yes,
now,
yes, yes.
now I know what it's about.
Yeah.
You know, I just show up and like, okay, this is good. Guess what?
Yes,
It's gonna be different.
This is.
It's
We
gonna
are
be-
in the revival.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We are in the
Wait
revival.
till we can all
That's
gather
right.
together.
Yes, yes.
Again.
Listen. You can have your own. Listen, I love that you said that because we all in a revival. We're all like, so if it's about the music, you need to pump up the music. Before I came here today, I was listening to this song called "I Can Only Imagine," right? And I'm watching I was watching the movie, and I'm listening to the song, and I'm like, tears are just flowing because it's just touching my heart, right? And I started thinking, like, I can only imagine what my life. Like, listen, there's so much more brewing in me that's brewing through us. Like, I can see clearer. Like, things is just wow. Like, I don't want to live my life with excuses and I'm sorry's. You know, like one of the things I seen on Facebook and all on these little social medias, you know, that was very cliche-ish and sounded cute, like before 2020 came in, was stop saying I'm sorry and start saying thank you. But guess what? I ain't seen it. I have not seen it since 2020 hit, right? But listen, I've been living it. I've been living it. So anytime, even when I'm going in somewhere and I'm ready to say, oh, I'm sorry I didn't show up. I'm like, yo, thank you for holding space for us to have this appointment at this particular time right now. Like, so I'm like living that thing, like really being mindful of how many times I'm going to say I'm sorry to somebody. Yes, I'm just sitting in it. I'm standing in it. I'm saying, listen, I don't want to be sorry no more. I'm not sorry. I'm not if I didn't show up this time, maybe that wasn't the time. But maybe this particular time is the perfect time. Like everything falls into place. Sometimes we be pushing and pushing and pushing, and I'm gonna make it happen, and you can't, and nothing will budge. And then it's in those times that you surrender and you start saying, I'm just gonna allow things to flow. I had an experience with my son, my youngest son, and I was like, you know, watching him just act a fool. I'm watching him just really act a fool, and I'm just like, what's wrong with you? Like he was just not hearing nothing. He wasn't seeing nothing, and I was like, I surrendered. I surrendered, right? And then I said, I'm okay. Let him go ahead and act the fool, but I'm gonna keep moving. I'm gonna keep moving. And as I kept moving, I started praying. I said, you know what, God? I said, that's your son. It's just
Amen.
as much as he's my son, right? And you know there's some experiences that he needs to go through in order for him to create a testimony of his own. So I'm going to surrender and allow you to be God for him. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, I thought this probably happened, that probably happened, and all this stuff might have happened. But I knew that I had prayed. I knew I prayed. 2 hours later, he's knocking on my window, walking in the door. Talk about, whoo, Mom, God had my back this whole time. I was, woo! I'm just like this rejoicing and like knowing that, listen, the same thing I said as he was in the process of having his own experience, I was praying and I was just surrendering and allowing the experience to be his because knowing that there was a gift for him. Unbeknownst to me, I might not see the vision. I might not have the vision. I might not know the plan, but I know that there's something there for him. And like to watch him come in and say, oh, Mom, look at God. God. My son don't use those words all the time. No, that's not the words he's using.
I tell you.
But like just to watch how the magnificence and the greatness, like sometimes we got to surrender some things. Sometimes we just got to just be willing Many are called. Many are called. But will you choose?
Well, listen, Lisa, you know the relationship that I have with God, okay?
Mm.
And it's between me and God. So how can I hold on to my son, my daughter, knowing all that God has done for me?
That's right.
How can I? Like I'm like, and we have conversations, and I talk to them, and they know my relationship, but I'm like, you got to find your. In the meantime, I hope mine is strong enough to cover them. I pray that mine is strong enough to cover them, but I want them to have their own.
That's
I
right.
want us all to come together, and they have their story on God, and I have my story, so that I know that when it's time, we're all ready. You know,
Absolutely.
we are all
Absolutely.
ready. But yeah, I listen. This when we come out of this, cause I'm good right now.
Listen, I'm
I'm
already
good.
rejoicing in it.
I'm good.
I'm
I'm good.
rejoicing
I'm
in it.
good.
I'm not even. It's not even looking forward to when we come out of it. It's like being in it, being in the midst
Mhm.
of the storm, being able to celebrate like everything that's coming forth as I'm in it. Like to be able to listen. I'm a therapist. I'm licensed. All that stuff. But like to be able to be real honest with clients and real honest with people and saying, listen, I had to take a moment for me
Mhm.
because how can I give you something that I wasn't even able to give myself? Like sometimes you got to retreat. You got to be an example. You got to be a role model to others to say, listen, I need to retreat. Yes, I sometimes want to show up as Superwoman and I want to be like, yep, da, 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 I'm here. I got you. Don't worry about it. But in the meantime, I'm falling apart myself. So then when I start to stand, listen, I can't sit still. I don't know why
Oh
I was
well,
trying to
okay.
sit there. But when I stand and I say, listen, like I have this phenomenal spirit that resides within me that stands strong with me. So like when I start to retreat and sit back and say, listen, there's some mending and some healing that needs to happen in me, and it's a continual process. There's some unveilings that's going to happen that may feel really uncomfortable, but when I sit in the comfort of it all, I know that this too shall pass.
Mhm.
How many times have I tried my best to just hide from what I've truly felt? Like being authentically yourself is when you're able to say, listen, this little girl inside of me, some still cries out at night.
Mhm.
This a part of me that still may not feel worthy of love or recognition and still might beat up on myself, but I'm learning more and more. Like there's no need to judge not only you but me.
Mhm.
Because all of those experiences were meant for a greater good. I trust and believe if it wasn't for all the experiences I had, whether it was sexual abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, drug abuse, whatever the abuse, whatever the thing that made me feel like I was human, because sometimes it took for some pain just to make me feel human.
Mhm.
I remember at a point of doing some self mutilation because I felt so numb to it all. I just wanted to feel something.
Mhm.
I remember that girl. I remember that girl who wanted to hurt herself and no longer wanted to exist on this plane. That wanted to commit suicide. I remember that little girl, and I know that I'm talking to some people that might be in a situation right now who feel like, I don't know if I can make it through this, Miss Tisa. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what God's plan is. I'm telling you, listen. I promise you, hold on,
Mhm.
hold on, because there's many a given days that I didn't know which way to go. There was many a given days that I didn't know, where's the next meal going to happen. There was many a days that I was out here homeless with my children.
Mhm.
There's many a days that I felt people just feeling like knives was just sticking me and all kind of stuff was just happening, and I didn't think at the time that things were happening for me. I thought they was
That's
definitely
me too.
happening to destroy me, but to come to a place in this time of my life to be able to see it was all happening for me. Like, because today I bear testimony that, like, listen, you can get through it. God has always been residing inside of me, always there to protect and guide me. Always, like those people who have done some of the most vain things that I used to say was like, oh my God, how could you do this to me, right? With I now see as angels that was here to help me to experience something that today I could stand here and testify and say, wow, this is what brought me to my knees.
Oh yeah.
It was in the dark times that I sought light. It was in the dark times that I sought God. It was in the dark times that I sought, what's my greatest purpose?
Mm-hmm.
It was in those dark times that I start to question. But sometimes we want to walk around in this lily perfect life and start jumping around talking about, oh, everything is wonderful. Yes, everything is wonderful when I choose it.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't mean that there's not some experiences that I'm experiencing that might feel a little uncomfortable. Or they might just be some experiences that I've had previously that I've walked through prior that I'm now comfortably walking through now.
Mm-hmm.
But it took for those experiences. So often we want to shield our children from experiences in which that we experience. But what we forget is that sometimes those experiences, we forget to help walk them through the experience.
Absolutely.
See, our children are experiencing the exact same thing that we're experiencing right now. Globally, everybody's experiencing
Everybody.
this. But everybody will not come out of it the same. We're all going to come out with a different interpretation of it, all based on how we perceive this.
Mm-hmm.
So you can choose to stew in it and say, this must mean it's the coming of the Christ, and this is the mean it's going to all end. And if that's the case, then how are you going to live? Are you going to live rejoicing in the fact that I get to live this life choosing?
Some people may come out of it with nothing and come out of it the same way they stepped in it without experiencing this gift, this opportunity, that we have to renew ourselves. And it doesn't have to be a milestone. It can be something so small, just a little bit different than what you were.
Absolutely.
I know I'm closer to people. I absolutely I'm making different connections with people that I have been around,
Mm-hmm.
you know, have been around. And I love that because, I was like, wow, I remember working in the casinos and I meet people every once in a while that remember me. I guess my face doesn't change. I'm like, I don't remember you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because I just wasn't paying attention. Those were my selfish tendencies of living my own life. And so now I make, more personal, more intimate connections with people that I encounter now. And I love that. And it may not have happened if
Right.
this didn't happen.
Right.
I get phone calls and I make phone calls and I check on people and I love it.
That's right.
You
That's
know?
right. So, I just offer you this opportunity just to do some self reflection, just to be able to reflect on yourself and what it
Mm-hmm.
is that, how you want to come out of this, how you want to show up at the end of this. Because this is going past, but what will you gain from this experience? Whether you gain anything or not, I'm not here to critique or figure it out. Because sometimes what someone gained may seem so small that to your eye it may be that they ain't gain nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, just being able to, I'm looking more at who is this that I'm going to emerge as. What am I going to emerge as? Like, who is this person that's being cultivated in the midst of this storm, and how am I going to come out on the other side?
Mm-hmm.
So you start imagining and being one with that, with the spirit and God, and saying, "Listen, I'm here. Yes, I'm choosing. I'm choosing to be a vessel that that you can work through. I'm choosing it.
Mm-hmm.
This is not just that time of, yeah, I know what I know and I believe what I believe, but it's like, are you going to stand in it? It's easy to have faith when you got your job.
Mm.
It's easy to have faith when everything is in alignment and everything is working and you got your paychecks rolling and all that stuff. But what happens when none of that's available
Mm-hmm.
and things have drastically changed, and
What
the money is not coming in the way you've been
you think?
accustomed to seeing it? Now what?
Mm-hmm.
So now you get to choose something different. Now this is a time right now. Like so many companies are recreating and reformatting how they're doing things. I know even my company, we're starting to you know, um, redirect the way that we're doing some of the services that we have been providing in an office. Those things are changing. So now, like it goes back to what I said before. Like looking at the gift and the pain. And sometimes the pain is only because we're like we're resisting the growth.
I love the growth.
Yeah, it's like you'd be like, no, 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 but look at all I have right here. That means I'm gonna lose it. How about if you losing it to gain something far greater? It's like the picture I seen on Facebook one time where the little girl was like, no, 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 I want my teddy. I want this
Yeah,
teddy.
Jesus.
And then Jesus had the bigger teddy on the back.
Mm-hmm.
But see, sometimes that bigger teddy that's in the back that's just waiting for you, you're not even ready to receive.
Mm-hmm. But now it's a get ready time.
Oh yeah.
It's a get ready time.
It's
Let's
a
do
get
it.
ready time.
I always said I'm going to go back to school because there's a few things that I want to learn. I don't think I want to ever leave my job. I love working at Second Baptist, and but I want to get better. I want to do more while I'm there.
Mm-hmm.
Take some classes. So the things that I do, it won't take me a whole week to get the copier
Mm-hmm.
up and running. That I'll naturally have it. I want to learn more about access. And I know Excel, but I want to be ready when our church grows, because in this time, which is interesting, Pastor Days, when he's doing, because we still go into church and we still do Sunday service, and Minister Thomas Jennings, I'm minister of music, he's there, and when he sings, it's so powerful. And when pastor preaches, it's so powerful. But in the sanctuary, there's 3 people. But online, there's thousands.
Mm.
You know, online, we're reaching more people now than we've ever reached before. So
Absolutely.
I want to be ready when we get back together and we have those same 1,000 people knocking on our door to get into church.
Absolutely.
I want to be there, and I
That's
want to be
right.
ready for that.
That's right.
I don't want to be average.
That's right.
I want to grow out of this. There's so many people that are growing.
That's right.
So don't come out of this just like, okay, I'm going to go right back to my little office and sit right at my computer and play
Listen,
my little solitaire.
this
I
is
want to be so much better.
this is a great time to do an inventory of your not only of
Mm-hmm.
yourself, but even those that you surround yourself, the people that you surround yourself with. Are they here? They helping you to grow? Are they helping you to just be comfortable? Are you still comfortable in the relationships that you're in? Are you ready to feel a little uncomfortable? I'm even in some of my communities that I'm a part of on Facebook, and I'm being very selective on the communities that I'm part of. There's one of the communities that I'm part of, and I listen to them talking, and I swear sometimes like language turns me on, right? So I get excited. Listen to the people having intellectual conversations and stuff. I just love it, right? Always happen. Like, so it's really stimulating to me. And so I'm listening, and I'm like, wow, like I really want to be a part of this group, and I'm loving it, right? And then the introspective that they're having and they're bringing, and I'm like, wow, this is like so mind blowing, and it's so fulfilling, and it's so stimulating, right? And it makes me say, wow, I want to be around those people. I want to like connect with people. I'm going to share this. Connect with people, like find out what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing and how you can support them, and then like support them, and just not just being about, oh, this is what I'm going to do and all that. Like even I was watching one of my good friends. I want to, first of all, I got to give a shout out because I just noticed that one of my really great friends, Lisa Adams, one of our biggest fans here,
Mm-hmm.
has been tuning in and even sharing the message and like sharing it, for others to view as well. And I just want to send out love to you and thank you so much, because like just share it. Like if you see something, share somebody else's stuff. Like another friend of mine, she's doing a phenomenal thing on Facebook, just doing this judgment detox and stuff. And I was observing something that she was doing, and I was like, wow, like the inserts that she was reading from the book, and I was thinking like, wow, I should get a book and do this, that, and other. Until I always remember like friends of mine that say, "You got a book in you. You got a book." Right? And I started saying, "Listen, how about you start reading inserts of your book, piquing interest, or being of value to others." So listen, you all have some talents. Some of them been hidden, some of them been stewing, some of them been like a little kid jumping up and down talking about, "Mommy, mommy, mommy, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready." "Daddy, daddy, daddy, please, can we go out and play?" And you've been like, "No, no, no, no." But this is a time right here, right now. This is a great time to just allow your gifts to flourish. Don't worry about if it's perfect or not. Don't worry about how it looks. Just do it in full faith. It's just faith of a mustard seed. When you stand in that, what else could go wrong? You might just come out on the other side flourishing. So today, before we end this program, like we got about 2 minutes left, I just want to send lots and lots of love and hope and well wishes, and healing. And just embrace the uncomfortability that you may be experiencing even right now. Embrace it. Love it. Trust it. Know that it's all been there for your greater good. It's been there to get you through some of the challenges. Some of the things that you may have been calling challenges have just been experiences allowing you to navigate through life. So I want to thank you. I want to send out so much love. Please tune in next week. We'll be right back here next Thursday at 5 p.m. on Gospel Radio's WEHA, Gospel Radio 88.7. We love you. Thank you. Have a phenomenal day on purpose.
See you next Thursday.
Gospel 88.7 WEHA. It's more than music. It's ministry.
WEHA, Port Republic, Atlantic City. And now on FM Translator 100.3 W262CF, Atlantic
Hawks,
City.
a name that has been trusted for almost 30 years in the janitorial services industry, is proud to present Hawks Professional Moving Services. Fully insured, local and long distance, packing services, commercial and residential. No job too small or too large. Friendly and reliable services. For more information or a free estimate, 609-484-0452. Hawks Professional Moving Services, where we treat your belongings like our own.
Would you like to hear your company or church announcements or church broadcast on the airwaves of WHA? You can call our business office at 609-641-8870 for further details.
Jesus, Jesus, there's just something about that name. Those of you that know it, you know what I'm talking about. I call him Master, Savior, Jesus. It's like the fragrance after the rain. His name is Jesus. Yes, yes, yes. His name is Jesus. Jesus. Let all heaven and earth proclaim that kings and kingdoms, they shall all pass away. Oh, but there's something. Oh, but there's something. There's something. I know that there's something. I can't explain it, but there's something. Yeah, there's something about it. When I call him in the midnight hour, there's something about. Whoa, something about that name. Yeah. Come on, give that name praise. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Whew, I feel the anointing in this place.
Clap your hands right here. I need everybody clapping. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, Lord, you know every hour. Oh, Lord, bless me now.
Murphy. Baby Dub.
All day. I've been talking with you. Yes, sir. All day. I'm determined to spend more time with you. All day. I've been walking around with you in my soul. That's right. All day. One time with you gonna make me whole. Talk to me. I got on my knees. I was trying to pray. Something on my heart that I need to say to you. But I got the job, so I can't be late. No. So I'm out the door and I'm on my way. I don't wanna leave you. I don't wanna go. Time with you, Lord, helps me to grow. Can I take you there? Take you everywhere. Everything we'll share. Wanna be with you. I've been walking around. I've been talking with you all day. I'm determined to spend more time with you. My time with you all day. With you in my soul. In my soul. One time with you gonna make me whole. See, lay me down to sleep and I pray the Lord my soul to keep. See, I'm trying to know you for myself, yeah. And there are times I don't know what to say. But I keep on praying anyway. Trying to figure out, yo, what's really true. Trying to do the things that please you. Can you teach me how? Will you teach me now? Hear my heart. I wanna be with you all day. I've been talking with you all day. I'm determined to spend more time with you. I've been walking around with you in my soul all day. One time with you gonna make me whole. I've been walking around, talking with you. Yeah, I'm determined to spend more time with you. I've been walking around with you in my soul. In my soul. One time with you gonna make me whole.
It's top of the morning, stretching and I'm yawning. Figure I got time to pray. I figure I got time to say, once again, it's on. Could you let me see another day? With the baby screaming and the telephone is ringing. I guess what I gotta do is take you outside with me, roll around in my ride with me, just walking, talking.
All day. I've been talking with you. Just me and you. I'm determined to spend more time with you. My time with you. I've been walking around with you in my soul. In my soul. One time with you gonna make me whole. All day. I've been walking around. I've been talking with you all day. I'm determined to spend more time with you. Ain't on my knees, but all day. With you in my soul. In my car. One time with you gonna make me whole.
All day long, all day long.
Ever get sick on a weekend with 2 days until the next available doctor's appointment? Not fun. So having Atlantic Care urgent care centers nearby really helps.
With my outpatient procedure, I went home the same day, recovered fast, and was playing the next season.
Being surrounded by a whole team of experts, how could you not feel like everything is going to be okay?
They used the technology I hadn't heard of to treat a condition I didn't even know I had. Thankfully, I'm better now.
Last month, Atlantic Care saved my husband's life. They've been making our lives better for years.
For every member of your family, for every moment of your life, Atlantic Care is here. With all of the providers, treatments, and personalized care you could ever need at over 100 locations across southeastern New Jersey. It's accessible care. It's exceptional care. It's Atlantic Care. To schedule an appointment, visit atlanticare.org.
The weather outside is frightful.
But the gospel is so delightful. Yes.
Check out our new website at www.wehavegospel.com.
no one else to turn to, Lord, but you. You're the only answer to the situation we've gotten ourselves into. So, Master, would you please come down and give us a helping hand? Oh, we need you. We need you right now. Oh, oh. There's a whole lot of people going hungry, 'cause they can get nothing to eat. Oh my. There's a whole lot of people going naked, naked. They don't even have shoes to put on their feet. So, Master, won't you please come down and give us a helping hand? Lord, we need you. Lord, we need you right now. Right now, right now, Lord, say we need you now. Oh, we need you. Good God Almighty. What if I ever needed you? Lord, I need you right now. Man has gotten out of hand with his evil way. Can't you see he's destroying us? Just a little bit more, little bit more each day. So, Master, won't you please come down and give us a helping hand? Oh, we need you. Lord, we need you. Surely we do, yeah, right now. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah. Right now. Oh, we need you. Oh, we need you now. Oh, we need you. Lord, we need you here today. Yeah. For there is no other name we can depend on. Surely we need you right now. Yeah. And surely we need you. Surely we need you right now. We tried to make it on our own, but we need you right now. How can I make it without you? I won't make another step without you. Yeah, yeah. Right now. Right now. We need you, 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 we need you. Hey, right now. Right now. Right now, Lord. Hey.
A new song of worship For those who love the presence of the Lord, it says, in his presence there's fullness of joy. In his right hand he has pleasures for you. Let me sing it for you real quick. It says this. Oh, how good it is to be in the presence of the Lord. My soul rejoices being in the presence of the King. So refreshing, such a blessing. There's no place I'd rather be than in the presence of the King. Anybody like to be in his presence? Let me sing it again. Oh, how good it is to be in the presence of the Lord. My soul rejoices being in the presence of the King. So refreshing, such a blessing. No place I'd rather be than in the presence of the King. Come on, everybody, sing it together. Oh, how good. Oh, how good it is. Yes, it is. To be in the presence of the Lord. My soul rejoices. Anybody can rejoice in the Lord? In the presence of the King. It's so refreshing, y'all. And for me, it's such a blessing. So refreshing. There's no place I'd rather be than in the presence of the King. Hallelujah. Now, I know y'all gonna like this one. I wanna see y'all sing this all over the world. Let me teach it to you. Makes me wanna sing, makes me wanna shout, makes me wanna holler. Makes me wanna sing, makes me wanna shout, makes me wanna holler. Here it is. Throw up my hands. Somebody put your hands in the atmosphere right here. Hallelujah. Throw up my hands. Hallelujah. Come on, y'all. Someone sing it like this. Say, make me wanna sing. Makes me wanna sing. Makes me wanna. Makes me wanna. Makes me wanna. Makes me wanna holler. Anybody feel like hollering in here? Come on, sing it again. Makes me wanna. Makes me wanna. Makes me wanna. Makes me wanna. Makes me wanna holler. Here it is, y'all. Come on. Throw up my hands. Throw your hands in the atmosphere here today. Throw up my hands. Hallelujah. I see your worshipers all over the world. Now sing it again, Lord. Makes me wanna sing. Makes me wanna. Makes me wanna. Makes me wanna. Makes me wanna. Makes me wanna holler. Say it again. Makes me wanna. 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 Makes me wanna holler. Come on, sing it. Throw up my hands. Come on, throw your hands up in here. Come on, say it again. Throw up my hands. Throw up my hands. Father, we bless your name. Gotta do my best. Gotta do my best. I wish somebody would get out the aisle right here and just break out in a dance. Gotta do my best. Gotta do my best. And not only that, let the redeemed of the Lord say so. Gotta lift my voice. Gotta lift my voice. Open it up. Open up your mouth and say something to him. Gotta lift my voice. Gotta lift my voice. And not only that, one more thing, y'all. Come on, say. I gotta clap my hands before I gotta clap. Gotta clap my hands. Yes, yeah. We bless you, Jesus. Gotta clap my hands. Gotta clap my hands. Gotta clap my hands. Gotta give you praise. Come on, say this. Makes me wanna sing. Makes me wanna. Makes me wanna. Makes me wanna. Now this is my personal time. I love being in your presence, Jesus. Giving you the glory. Giving you the honor. Come on. Give you all the worship. Throw up my hands. Come on, throw them up in here. All over the world. Come on. Throw up my hands. Thank you, Jesus. We bless your name, Lord. Hallelujah. And you know what, y'all? This is not my first time praising him right now. I've been blessing God all day long. I didn't wait till I got here to give him the glory. I've been blessing him and honoring him because he means the world. know it's kind of rough right now.
I know it's kind of rough right now.
Road.
The road is dark. You can't see your way. Hold on a little while longer. God will make a brighter day.
I know it's kind of rough right now.
I know it's kind of rough right now.
The road is dark.
The road is dark.
You can't see.
See your way.
Hold on.
Hold on a little while longer. God will make a brighter day.
Listen, come on, Dana.
I know you're tired of crying, wondering when this pain will end. Be still and never let go of God's unchanging hand.
Come on, Dana. Tell me to hold on, my brother.
Hold on, my brother. Hold on, my sister. Don't give up now. God has promised He'll be with you every hour.
I know it's kind of rough right now.
I know it's kind of rough right now.
The road is dark.
The road is dark.
You can't see your way.
See your way.
Hold on.
Hold on a little while longer. God will make a brighter day.
Hold on, my brother.
Hold on,
Hold on, my sister.
hold on, my sister. Don't be afraid.
God is with you.
God is with you.
Come on, just shake somebody and say, hold on, my brother. Hold on, my sister. Come on, tell them, don't be afraid. Come on, now, Kurt, say, God, He'll be with you every step. Come on, let's take it up a little higher. Hold on, my sister.
Hold on, my sister. Don't be
Come on,
afraid.
Kurt, say, God will be with you every step. Come on, just wave your hand. Come on, now, Kurt, and say, God will be with you every step of the way. Come on. Somebody's going through tonight. Come on, tell them, hold on. Hold on, my sister.
Don't be afraid.
God is with you.
God is with you every step of the way.
Come on, just touch yourself and say, hold on, my brother.
Hold on, my brother.
Hold on, my sister.
Hold on, my sister. Don't be afraid.
God is with you.
God is with you every step.
Come on, just grab somebody by the hand today. Come on, grab my hand. Say, hold on, my brother.
Hold on, my brother.
Come on, hold on, my sister.
Hold on, my sister. Don't be afraid.
God is with you.
God is with you.
Come on, one more time, one more time. Come on, we're going to get the end and cut me on the higher. Hold on, my brother.
Hold on, my brother.
Hold on, my sister.
Hold on, my sister. Don't be
That's the message in this song. We just want to encourage you to let you know whatever you're going through, God is with you. Hold on, my brother.
Hold on, my brother.
Hold on, my sister.
Hold on, my sister. Don't be afraid.
God is with you.
God is with you every step of the way.
Wake up to Morning Glory with gospel duo Duncan and Rachel.
Every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. on WEHA 88.7 and 100.3 FM.
And the King of Glory shall come in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Got some bad news from the physician. My heart heart started pounding as I listened to what was said. 'Cause in my head I never thought it could happen to me. But I recall what I was taught in the 34th chapter of the book of Psalms. In spite of our afflictions, He'll deliver us from them all. My trust still lies in You. I know You're gonna bring me through this trial, but I'm not ending now. I know it's gonna get hard sometimes, and when those moments come, I'll rest within Your arms and give You praise for what's about to come. No matter how long it takes, I'll never give up my praise. So while I wait, I'll be patiently praising You. No matter how long it takes, no matter how long, I'll never give up my praise. So while I wait, I'll be patiently praising You. Every day is a brand new day. Gotta take some time to renew my faith. 'Cause the pain is saying opposite of what the Bible says in the book of James. The proud faith shall save the sick. The Lord will raise them up once again. Yeah, that encourages me to praise Him along the way to my breakthrough. My trust still lies. I still trust in You. I know You're gonna bring me through this trial. 'Cause it's gonna get hard sometimes. And when those moments come, and when they come, I'm gonna rest in Your heart and give You praise for what's about to come. Yeah, yeah. No matter how long it takes, no matter how long it takes, I'll never give up my praise. While I wait, I'll be patiently praising You. No matter how long it takes, no matter how long, I'll never give up my praise. While I wait, yeah, I'll be patiently praising You. I won't let the circumstance or the evidence stop me from raising my hands to You as I go through. Lord, I'll patiently praise You. No matter how long it takes, I'll never give up. I'll never know. While I wait, I'll be patiently praising You. Yeah, yeah. No matter how long, no matter, I'll never give up my praise. I won't give it up, no. While I wait, I'll be patient. Yeah. No matter how long it takes, I'll never give up. I'll never give up my praise. Yeah. I'll lift my hands. Hey, I'll raise my voice. I'll never give up because You've been so good to me, Lord. And I know He'll come when You want Him.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets, and they all have one thing in common. Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard, that's optional. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Human
Hello,
Society of Humane
WEHA
Society.
listeners. This is Lisa Diane Hall, General Sales Manager here at WEHA 88.7 and 100.3 FM, where we have gospel and we have talk. We'd like to thank you for listening and sincerely appreciate your continued support over the last 10 years. Thanks to all of you, WEHA is now a 2-time Stellar Award-winning gospel radio station with a recording studio right here in your local community. As the newly appointed General General Sales Manager, it is my goal to share my 20 years of experience in broadcasting and marketing with your church, business, or organization. I am pleased to announce WEHA's new community branding partnerships, where you have the opportunity to be heard on all of WEHA's platforms, including 2 FM bands, WEHA WeHaveGospel.com, and all of WEHA's social media pages, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. WEHA is currently seeking new Sunday morning programming and new talk shows. For more information or to arrange a WEHA studio tour, you can reach me, Lisa Diane Hall, at WEHA Studios at 609-641-8870. That's 609-641-8870. WEHA is Christ-centered, community-focused, and listener-supported.
It's a new year, and it's time to get activated. The Atlantic City NAACP will host a 30-minute radio show every Tuesday at 5 p.m. on WEHA. Informative guests, current affairs, local topics, and up-to-date information will be provided. Join us every Tuesday at 5 p.m. because when we fight, we win.
Your name is stronger than sickness. Oh, you are the strong name, and your name is more powerful than darkness. You are the strong name, and your is bigger than mountains. Oh, you are the strong name, and whatever doesn't say the same, we will stand and proclaim it's coming down at your name, for you strong name. Yes, you are, Lord. Listen, Proverbs says, the name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run in and they are saved. Oh, yes, they are. I am so glad that I have a Father, that when I am weak, I have his strength. For you are the strong name. You are the strong name. Yes, you are. Oh, Lord, you are the, and we stand in the power of the strong
and say the same. We will stand and proclaim. And when heartache doesn't say the same, we will stand and proclaim. And whatever doesn't say the same, we will stand and proclaim. It's coming down at your name.
Whenever I call him, he's right on time. Whenever I need him, he's by my side. So I don't have to worry, 'cause God is in control. And I know that he's able to see me through. I know he's able to see me through. Life situations are stressing you. You don't know just what to do. Just keep on praying, 'cause God is in control. And I know that he's able to see you through. I know he's able to see you through. He's able to see you through. When your problems are surrounding you. Remember
Do you have an event coming up and need a facility? Well, let me tell you about Atlantic County's newest banquet facility, Beacon Hall, located in the heart of Egg Harbor City, right off the Whitehorse Pike. Beacon Hall is a full-service banquet facility that is 5,000 square feet with an attached parking lot. Book your conferences, book signings, birthday parties, bridal showers, baby showers, weddings, repasts. No event is too big or too small. You can book your next event by calling us at 609-965-4255 or email us at bookbeaconhall@gmail.com. That's BOOKBEACONHALL @gmail.com. Try Beacon Hall, where we turn moments into cherished memories.
You are listening to Christ-centered, community-focused, listener-supported gospel. 88.7 and 100.3 FM, Atlantic City WEHA. Don't forget to follow us on social media by searching We Have Gospel on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Find out more at www.wehavegospel.com.
Listen, gather round. I found something that you can use. If you listen well, I'm here to tell you you cannot lose. Oh, a simple song, simple melody, yeah. To remind you that you can be the greatest ever, defeated never. No, even though sometimes you may